Question everything. For the truth should not be televised, and that's for sure. So with that, well, you got to understand, you got a lot of stuff going on in America right now that is causing the straight up demise of white power and white control and colonizers' control over the actual soil of America. And their constitution is really becoming non-void based off of this government going radical. And where do that leads us as Aboriginal Negroes of America when the great snake gets an itch? When it starts to itch, when it starts to have problems, when it starts to have implosions within itself, where do we stand? Because at the end of the day, as we can see, the Constitution don't mean anything anymore in the United States. You know what I mean? And if that's the truth, then where are we going? Because they already told us that they can just take our rights, stop us from communicating, stop us from congregating amongst each other, stop us from coming outside. They already showed us already with that just by putting out a mandate on you having to take some type of jab in your arm and all sorts of stuff based off of how they see things. And this was wealthy and rich. That wasn't the everyday working class citizen, the voters. That was the wealthy and the rich who wrote that and mandated that on the whole United States. And y'all went for it. Y'all gave up y'all rights. Y'all was so afraid. Dude, if being afraid of any type of outbreaks, any type of things that's happening will cause you to give up your rights, then why don't you just go back to being slaves? That's my point, you know what I mean? Because this is where we at. If you ain't going to follow the Constitution, then why don't you just go back to being slaves? Yeah, we're indentured service. We're indentured servitude right now, and we don't understand it because we're born to it, but shit, let them put that right back on your back. You know what I mean? Because if they can put that right back on your back, then shit, what we doing here? What's the reality? See, because at the end of the day, Aboriginal Negroes, y'all haven't been liberated. That's our plight when it comes to dealing with the colonizers' inheritors and them maintaining our suffering and keeping us in ghettos and slums and hoods. But when it comes to white folks, hey, the Constitution, what's going on with that? Y'all don't even got no say no more. Your vote don't mean nothing anymore when it comes to dealing with this system. And if that's true, then what did the Constitution tell you you're supposed to be about? If you are the citizens, we the people who appointed the representatives in the government to represent the people, and they no longer represent the people in their best interest, then what you supposed to do? Exactly. This is where it's at. Now you got all your wealthy and your rich building bunkers all over the place. What do they know that you don't know? These are things y'all supposed to be worried about. Because not to mention, they took all the resources for themselves and got us bickering and trying to survive in an inflated cost of living and a dying dollar that they set up to happen. And y'all too busy being mad at each other instead of being upset with the actual people that y'all appointed to represent y'all. Looking their way, checking them out, looking what they putting on their table and what they got in their pocket and how they living. At the same time, watching how you live. Seems to me that everybody that get into politics today and get appointed to represent we the people as the nation, they only there for legacy and getting paid off of you and living good while you struggling and listening to them song and dance you to death with promises that don't never ever come into any type of reality for you. This is what it seems like the government has become now. At the same time, why all those ratchets that everybody got is pointing at you as the American citizens, to the point where now they even want their guns back from you. Give me the guns back. They already not got your best interest in hand, and they're gonna take the guns back too. Why? See, these are things that you gotta ask. So at the end of the day, it don't look good for the American citizens, especially the working class citizens and the poor citizens of America. They already showing you they don't give a god doggone crap about the homeless and the poor population of America, which probably most likely is the dominance of the Aboriginal Negroes of America. Because they'll bring in the immigrants and get them shelter, benefits, and all sorts of stuff before you. And you the citizen that's homeless. You the citizen that's impoverished. You the citizen that's working and the cost of living is too high for you to actually pay. You the citizen that can't afford daycare for your children, but you running out to vote and giving these people power and giving them wealth over you for them to turn their back on you with the song and dance that they're going to do something for you. But they ain't doing nothing for you. They don't even care about the Constitution no more. You know what I mean? You might as well just blow that away, because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing, just blowing it out the window. Because they don't care about the Constitution, no matter how much y'all push the narrative on being we the people as the American citizens, and y'all don't like the way your government going or like the way things are being handled economically when it comes to the system itself. Do you think they care? They ain't listen to your cries, man. And if they ain't listening to your cries, then what did that tell you? Maybe the government has went radical against you. Just a possibility, right? Well, John F. Kennedy talked about it, and many others talked about not allowing allowing the government to get radical against the people, going tyrannical against the people. The Constitution tells you exactly what you got to do when that happens. I mean, this is when the people supposed to use the Second Amendment, right to bear your arms and deal with what you got to deal with. Because at the end of the day, how could you be the body of the country and don't have no say over what the head of the country is supposed to be doing for the body? The head is looking out for the head while the body is withering away, and they don't got no problem with that. But you, as the American citizens, we the people, supposed to be the body. So with that stated, what's going on with y'all white folks? Y'all allowing them to cut y'all out? Y'all own government? Cut y'all right on out? Because see, Aboriginal Negroes already been cut out. We don't have no economic power, economic splice in that game. We're a nation under another nation getting crushed by your God. And in turn, that's why we can't get no economic growth. We can't get no type of resources coming to our community. We have no political say over our children and what they're going to learn in school based off the curriculum. We have no real ties to anything when it comes to this government. We just faces standing in the front of the camera while the people behind us who control the house is telling us everything to do. And that's your people. So what are you going to do about it? That's the real reality. They coming for your guns. Y'all the ones got more guns than everybody and probably every citizen in the world. No one got more guns than white folks here in America. So what's the real deal? What's really going down? What's the game plan? Because today, the way America look and how it's flipping over with all these different immigrants coming in and getting more rights than you, don't show no real good future for the American citizens as time go on. And the Georgia Guidestones, with them saying they needed a certain amount of people on the planet in order to control and manipulate the planet and the people, that was a real reality. Georgia Guidestones was sitting right there until they had that situation. You know, so what is that all about? And what's all this whispering, population control, all these different wealthy people that's supposed to be your appointed representatives who's supposed to represent you, talking about controlling the population, depopulating. Who are they talking about depopulating? These are things that you should be highly concerned over. Not to mention Monsanto's, which is now Bayer, dealing with the different GMO seeds and different things that's going on those levels. I mean, what's that all about? In wealthy and rich people buying up all the farm land, pushing small farm owners out of business and taking over their farms as well. What is really happening? These are things you got to really be aware of, because it's happening now under this new world order that they already put out, that they done mandated that their agendas fall under, so that way they can usher you into a new world order. But what do the new world order got for you? Where do you stand in that new world order? These are the realities that you need to deal with, because it don't look peachy keen for all the citizens of the world. It really don't. And I got to speak on that, because when it comes to the citizens of the world, with these wealthy and rich governments and these wealthy and rich elite, they got buku plans for the citizens that ain't in the citizens' best interest from nowhere. So y'all definitely better get on it. Maybe you need to pull up your Constitution and read that Constitution. Maybe you need to study it, comprehend it, and then understand what it's telling you you're supposed to be about when it comes to dealing with a radical government or tyrannical government that is now going against its own people and don't have its own people best interests at heart, while they sitting around being trillionaires, billionaires, and millionaires, and you struggling to make ends meet based off of the cost of living that they got skyrocketing all over the place. What's really real? Where do you really stand? What's really going down? You let me know, because at this point, white folks, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. For that is the question. You let me know. Praise, praise.